Hi, we're back again in the EVworld EV camper, and this time we're talking used import cars. Now, one of the big names out there in the used import field when it comes to electric vehicles is Genuine Vehicle Imports, or Genuine Vehicle Group, Genuine Vehicle Electric these days.
Yeah, GVI Electric. GVI Electric is sort of, yeah.
Yeah, I'm here with Hayden Johnston, who's here with the GVI stand today. So, what's your guys' plan for EVworld? You've got quite the lineup of cars down there at the side of the hall.
Yeah, we do. We thought we'd sort of run a little bit of a different kind of theme for this show. So, I think in the last couple of years it's been largely about education and talking to people and having a vehicle on display that people could sort of play with, and this is what an EV is. I think we've stepped a little bit beyond that now. People know what EVs are, they're familiar with the models available, and so we've actually got vehicles for sale, so vehicles that people can buy, obviously just a selection of, with many more available, but that's been, that's sort of been the core focus, come and actually buy a vehicle, special show prices, and see how that works. Obviously there's still a fair bit of education going on, but yeah, so we'll see how that goes.
Now, GVI and your father PJ, you've been selling used import vehicles into New Zealand for a very long time. Why this move to go quite big into EVs now? What led you guys down the electric track?
It was started about 5 years ago, basically, and I guess long story short, the old man brought a electric trolley bus from over at Turner's, and it had been used as a corrections facility transport vehicle, and so I think it was like an 11 or 12 seater thing with a little trolley on the back of it, and he said, oh, this is pretty cool, we're going to buy it. And so he brought this thing, and we used it for a couple of years at shows. This was when we had Sanyong, and we used to ferry people around, and a lot of the AMP shows would use it to ferry people from the car park, and it was really quite cool. And so we sort of started to fall in love with electric a little bit. We thought, well, what else can we buy that's electric? So we started looking at similar types of vehicles, and it was about the time that Gen 2 Leaf was released in Japan, and so pricing started to come back a little bit on Gen 1s, and that was pretty much our entry. We brought a couple of Gen 1s, and back then there was really sort of only a handful of guys doing it, us and Autolink and the boys from Autocord, and it sort of kicked off from there. No one really knew what they were doing. We had these cars. We were fortunate that there was the beginning of a charging infrastructure with ChargeNet. So we sort of had all the basics were there, and yeah, we kicked off with it, and it's just been a big push since then. So yeah.
Fantastic. And you've been expanding a little bit later too. You've got electric vehicles on sale down in Tauranga as well now, I believe.
We do now in Tauranga. Yes, we have had Wellington for the last 18 months.
Of course, yes.
Unfortunately, we've just had to sort of close the doors on that and put that project on pause. So Daniel, who most people will be familiar with, was one of our guys right from the very start, and he fell in love, got married, and then he's moving to Brazil with his lovely wife. Wow. So yeah, which is sad for us. Wellington was a really wonderful opportunity for us, and wonderful people in Wellington. We were well supported there, but you need good people on the ground, and unfortunately we just couldn't find someone of the right caliber to replace Daniel. We had a good team down there, but they just needed that front man, they needed that leader. So yeah, so we'll see.
But Tauranga's now got the chance to try your.
Now we're sort of in Tauranga. So yeah, we've joined forces with Mike Sheaf down there. So the Sheaf family, well established, well known in Tauranga. Mike was already starting to make a bit of a move into EV and hybrid. So it was a great opportunity for us to hit the ground running down there, and we're off with a running start.
Sounds like a great partnership.
Yeah, it's good. It's exciting down there. So Tauranga's a really interesting place. It's lovely. It's growing. A lot of families down there. So it suits our brand really well.
Fantastic. Now, the Japanese supply has been really important to the rollout of electric vehicles in New Zealand. It does make up the majority of our fleet so far. You guys are real pros at sourcing vehicles out of there. How is that going, and can Japan and to a lesser extent the UK market continue to provide the volume of quality vehicles that New Zealand needs as we keep trying to double the fleet moving along through the years? Yeah,
used imports have been the basis of the EV sort of push in New Zealand. Really. Without imports, I don't think we wouldn't have what we've got today. There's not a chance, and that's no slant on the new manufacturers. They just haven't had product or a environment in which they could sell their vehicles. So used vehicles have laid the pathway for them, which has been great. We've been fortunate enough to take advantage of incentives and rebates from other markets. Without that, I think we still would be able to import them and make them work, but it's obviously, it's much easier to achieve a price point that works. So yeah, supply wise going forwards, I mean, Nissan Leaf makes up a huge part of the used fleet, and I think it'll make up a large part of the new fleet as time goes on as well. So yeah, there's good supply out of Japan still. especially with increasing numbers of the new 40 kilowatt hour Leaf coming through. I think when the 62's released, we'll see even more coming on.
Fantastic.
UK is very currency dependent, so it's a market that works during a window, and outside of that window it doesn't work. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Brexit. At the moment, definitely I think it's going to come on, and we'll see a few more vehicles coming out. Works really well for the brand new, so parallel imported brand new vehicles work well out of the UK, and models that we can't get out of Japan, so a lot of the European EVs, and yeah, hopefully with new product coming from Renault, and I guess Kia and Hyundai, it'd be great to see more of those familiar models coming down as well.
Fantastic.
So they might not be so happy about that, but look, I think most of these guys are sensible these days. They know that the bigger the car park, the better for them.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's I think a change from the old attitude of where the importers and the new guys were head to head. I think now they accept the fact that it can't be bad to have more of their product on the road. So.
Exactly. Now you mentioned the incentives overseas. Now we're kind of really almost with the sniff of having incentives in New Zealand now. What's your take on how the rebate scheme as it's been proposed, or the feedback scheme as it's been proposed, could change the market for you guys in New Zealand? I mean, firstly, do you think once it does arrive, it will really help the push on selling Nissan Leafs and that kind of thing into the market? But do you think people may hold back a little bit waiting for those dollars?
Yeah, I think once something's confirmed, we'll see the true effect in it. We saw an immediate knee-jerk within days after the announcement, where we had several deals, people Welsh on them, because they were going to wait. And we sort of tried to explain to them, look, hey, it's not actually a sure thing yet. We're talking 2 years away. Think of the savings in between. But I think New Zealanders are a bit like that. We see that with fuel price hikes as well. People come out and go and buy economical vehicles, and then they kind of forget about it. So we've had a very, very strong month. July was a huge month for us, one of our biggers in a while, which is good. So I don't think we've seen any immediate effect, but talking to some dealer friends from down south, they are struggling. Sort of middle South Island seems to, for some reason, have slowed up a bit. I think it just depends on, probably on the local market. Yeah.
You think ultimately the fee bait and the enhancements will be a good thing?
Definitely, ultimately, yes. Yeah, I mean, we're already going to see an influx of. It's more about fuel efficient vehicles rather than particularly EVs, but it'd be great. The more fuel efficient vehicles on the road, the better, whether that's a mix of small engine, hybrid and EV. Obviously we'd like to see as many EVs as possible, but it would be better to have a later model cleaner fleet, and that's essential, and that's what the fee bait system will give us. So it'll incentivize people to buy later model cleaner vehicles, but at the end of the day, if you're going to go out and you're going to buy your brand new Audi R8, or you're still going to do that regardless. And it's not about telling people they can't do that. It's just about rewarding people that are going to make that that conscious option. So.
Brilliant. Look, thank you very much for that. Now, if you want to check out some of GVI's great vehicles, there'll be a link at the bottom of this page to their website. Also, you can come down here and catch up with Hayden and his team to put together a great deal on one of the cars that are here. If you're looking forward to more videos, keep an eye on evtalk.co.nz or our Facebook page or this YouTube channel. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Great.
Cool, man.
That was okay?
Yeah, no, good.
Got to make sure we get the plug in there.